Did not go quite as you planned, did it?
No, I generally don't anticipate being tackled by a 50-year-old woman when I go over to someone's house.
I have to admit, my mother-in-law has been very damn helpful during these last few years. So, what have we learned?
I'm apparently very flexible.
Besides that.
Next time I come over, wait for her to go to work first.
Oh.
That's right, Creepy. Perseverance is the key to changing exactly whose ass is sore from your next encounter.
Well, on that note, you can go now.
While I appreciate your dismissive tone, Decker, I'm really too sore to move right now. I think I'll just sit here and see whatever it is you've got to review this week.
Okay, I guess you can stick around as we finish off Revenge of Gamerathon!
Finish off? What are you talking about? There were only 3 movies in the Heisei series.
True, but those weren't the last Gamera movies ever made. After the Heisei era of Kaiju ended with Gamera 3 in 1999, Toho wasted no time beginning the Millennium era with Godzilla 2000, which came out in 1999. It took 7 more years before we'd see another Gamera film, however, with Gamera the Brave in 2006.
Do we get to see him annihilate that swarm of Gauss and go on to save the world from some kind of dark matter-based kaiju using the power of a PlayStation 3?
No.
Why not?
This isn't a continuation. The trilogy stands on its own. This is a reboot.
Usually you reboot a series after you drag it into the ground. The last Gamera movies were some of the best kaiju films out there. Why would they reboot it?
Well, while Gamera 3 was a phenomenal film, the entire Heisei trilogy lost sight of a very crucial part to the entire Showa series, that being the overtly kid-friendly presentation of the monster from Gamera vs. Gyaos onward. Gamera the Brave sought to correct this oversight by scrapping the darker series of films in exchange for a story following a small group of children in Japan, whom happen to be the only ones who can help Gamera, who is also ridiculously young, realize his true potential and become the true guardian of the ball pit.
You're joking.
About the ball pit? Yes.
No, the whole thing. You're joking, right? They scrapped the Heisei Gamera to return the monster to the glory of being a children's movie?
Well, yes they did.
This is not going to be a good day.
Hey, don't judge it before you've seen it. There may still be some real potential here.
Goody. I can't wait to see the zany antics as Gamera attempts to play hide-and-seek, but oh no, he's a giant turtle. How silly.
Great, let's get started.
Please don't tell me that actually happens.
The movie opens in 1973 during the epic climax of a kaiju battle as a young boy witnesses Gamera doing battle with a quartet of Gyaos. A trio of Gyaos.
That's Gamera?
Yeah, giant fire-breathing turtle. Who else would it be?
He looks ancient!
Did you forget? The original Gamera was said to be from prehistoric times.
This Gamera looks like he's from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode Once Upon a Time Machine. The 3 remaining Gauss attack the decrepit monster, easily gaining the upper hand. Considering how capable the last Gamera we saw was at dispatching this particular foe, this decrepitude is more than a little jarring. However, Grandpa Mara does manage to save the day by simply blowing himself up, taking the Gauss with him.
Gamera sacrificed itself for us!
That's it, you take it from here.
Hold on! This is your show, remember? I'll be damned if you're gonna dump all the work on my lap so you can make money off Blip again!
I'm sorry, but they killed Gamera at the 3-minute mark. Kind of a shitty way to start your Gamera film.
Maybe it's continuing off the Showa plotline. He did die at the end of that, you know.
In 1980, fighting a spaceship.
Okay, but he was fighting all of those Gauss at the end of Revenge of Iris.
Yeah, about 50 of them. How did 4 manage to kill him so easily?
Arthritis?
Fine, so it doesn't fit with either film. But, like you said, it's a reboot, isn't it?
So what? This is like Tim Burton's Batman starting off with Adam West getting hit by a car. Everyone is so damn happy for some stupid reason, except for this one kid who grows up to be Kanji Suda, playing the role of Kusuke Aizawa. He is here with his own little boy, Tohru, played by Ryo Tomioka. Not to bring the mood down after we just saw Gamera die, but wouldn't you know it, Tohru's mother also happens to be fucking dead.
My mom died in a car crash. She's not up in heaven. She's a pile of bones in this tomb.
Okay, I have nothing against depth or deep topics in children's movies, but you think just maybe you want to entertain the kids a little bit before you drop something like this on them?
5 minutes in, and we've watched Gamera die, and the only thing we know about the little boy is his mother is dead. Decker, you were wrong. This movie is way darker than the Heisei trilogy. As they leave, Tohru spots a glow on an island, but this is not investigated any further just yet. Instead of this, we move on to a news broadcast giving a tell-don't-show recap of the last 3 decades, that, aside from the Self-Defense Force, evidently there was the Unusual Organism Task Force, whom, as there have been no kaiju for as long as they've existed, are finally being disbanded. That they dismissed their kaiju defenses in the wake of peace is believable.
What about the fact that it took them 3 decades to realize that there were no more annual giant monster attacks?
Hey, I've seen less useful government programs get funding.
Good point. An anti-kaiju task force would be a lot more useful than Congress. In the same broadcast, they mention a peculiar rise in ships sinking with no trace of survivors, but that's not important. Let's watch some kids play on the shore.
Come back here! Take them off! Come on, take them off! Take them off!
And attempt to pull their friend's pants off, because that's normal.
I told you so.
No, creepy, just no. These two are Toru's friends, Ishimaru and Katsuya Ishida, played by Shingo Ishikawa and Shogo Narita, respectively. They accidentally bring up Toru's mother, so no, we don't get a happy, playful scene in this movie, yet without bringing up something depressing.
Did you really think I was upset? Did you believe me?
Okay, never mind, the kid's just an asshole.
You tricked us. I tricked you all right. You took them off.
Will someone please get these kids a Nintendo DS? Or at least a healthy collection of manga to keep their attention. As his father is too busy taking care of the family restaurant, Tohru is left to his own devices, allowing him to hallucinate about his mother calling to him with his nickname, Toto.
Are you hungry?
I never thought I'd say this, but why can't we just watch the kids have a happy little race with Gamera in a submarine?
Movie a little depressing for you?
I suppose in the same way that pepper spray is a little spicy.
Tohru does have some good in his life, with the neighborhood girl, who is a friend, and that's actually as far as that goes. Mai Nishio, played by Kaho.
Give it to me now, Mai. You have an attitude problem. Too bad. Mai, Your Majesty, please let me read it.
Okay, can I just fast forward to when the city is on fire?
Considering how much pain I am in, no.
You're a pain in the butt.
So instead of death and destruction, we see the children gather for their swimming lessons, but oh no, Tohru forgot his comically oversized membership card. Rather than go back and get it, or call his old man, he opts to investigate just what that annoying shimmer is on the island. There he finds... breakfast!
Awesome.
Oh look, baby's first weapon of mass destruction. Toho and the hatchling bond immediately, but the kid isn't sure what to make of the cheap plastic salad bowl the egg was in. More importantly, he gives his new pet a name.
I'm gonna name you Toto.
Brilliant. I can't wait for the scene when he's annihilating downtown and the people are screaming, "Run for your lives! It's Toto!"
But you have to learn to trot.
I don't know if you've noticed this, Tohru, but that's not a pony. He goes to sleep and is surprised to find that by morning, Toto has doubled in size. This revelation is interrupted by his father, who must clean the room, which results in a scene of zany antics as Tohru tries to keep his new pet monster a secret from his old man.
Let me hear this out. What?
All he was asked to do was trot. I think Toto here is a bit of an overachiever.
Mine!
It's so drenched in cuteness you could drown in it.
At least it's better than pounding us with cruel fate after cruel fate.
Well, it's only because I skipped over the part where we learned that mine needs heart surgery.
You weren't supposed to fast forward, Decker.
Oh yeah? Well, what are you gonna do about it, Mr. Sore Ass?
Bide my time planning the next attack?
Moving on. The father leaves, none the wiser, and Tohru explains to Mai that it's just Toto, his new pet turtle. Now that we've established they're okay with this, Tohru releases the creature back into the wild.
You're a bit too much, little guy.
A flying turtle? I can't handle this much responsibility. I'm only 8, you know.
Okay, this is officially the least believable scene in the movie.
Less than the flying turtle on super growth hormones?
Far less. Of course, Toto keeps following Tohru around, and that's far too cute and cuddly, so the turtle is nearly killed by a car.
Hey! Watch out, kid!
Naturally, Tohru saves the critter and now decides to keep it, for its own protection.
Is it that hard to convince a preteen to care for the most awesome pet on the planet?
This movie obviously hasn't been cute enough, so while Tohru is out at the skate park with his friends, Toto romps around the kitchen for... You'll never guess. Zany antics. Silly, yes, but it's a kid's movie. That scene was entertaining overall.
Yeah, wonderful. And what's next? Are they going to tell us that one of Toru's friends broke his leg and the other one's got cancer? No, instead he shows the two of them his amazing flying turtle. He says that they can be his friend as long as they keep it a secret. And if they keep it a secret as well as he did, everyone in Ishishima will know by the end of the week. We don't have to wait long, however, before the movie decides to wash down this childhood friendship with a guy being randomly killed out in the middle of the ocean. The perfect addition to any children's movie.
Hey, we didn't actually see him die.
Oh, yeah, sure, maybe his pockets were just full of cherry Alka-Seltzer.
It was quite fizzy.
While the camera was away, Mai figured out that Toto was in fact a Gamera, but Tohru is unconvinced.
Toto's this monster? My Toto? No, he's not.
Because he could be any of the other 24 species of flying turtles?
Nothing strange will happen. I promise. Uh-oh.
Right on cue, Toto has now grown to the size of a Power Wheels Jeep. The kids then head out under the cover of night to stash him away safely in their secret clubhouse, which we have never seen before this scene.
He's an adult now. So, he won't get any bigger.
Going by his track record, I'm expecting a growth spurt while they're all still sitting there.
Should I cue Turtle Power?
No, let's wait and see. As cheap red plastic trinkets are lucky, Tohru decides that a ridiculously huge hunk of cheap red plastic must be even luckier, so he hands the salsa ball over to Mai in hopes that she survives her operation. Which, of course, there is no chance that this is a ridiculously stupid decision that he's going to regret soon after. None at all.
The next day, Tohru finds that Toto has escaped the clubhouse, and despite his best efforts, cannot find the very large creature anywhere. The search falls into the next day, but is then interrupted as the entire village is running in panic for some strange reason, as sirens blare in the streets. Okay, now I'll cue it up.
Just hold on a little longer. All the important characters gather, but Katsuya is a little slow, so a random piece of debris blocks his escape just in time for the film's Kaiju, Zedus, to make it to the scene. Things look pretty bad for the kid, but I'm sure that...
Don't look!
Oh!
You said this movie wasn't dark.
On the bright side, it'll be a little easier to keep track of all the characters now.
Fortunately, Katsuya somehow managed to slip away from the creature's maw, and is now the lone survivor, though still splattered with everyone else's blood.
Oh, come on, did kids just have these impenetrable force fields around them in these movies? Not one other person in that group survived!
Ishimaru doesn't think so, and risks his life to attempt to save Katsuya the Invincible. Obviously, Zedus spots this.
Okay, creepy. Now,
Now? Okay. What is that?
That's Gamera.
Are you kidding? No, that is not Gamera. He looks like a Gamera plushie, only less threatening.
Come on, he's only about a week old.
Fine. You know what? I've got an idea.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles! Heroes in a half shell! Turtle power!
I guess that works too.
Maybe something from the Coming Out of Our Shells tour would be more appropriate?
No, that's fine. Thank you. The fight here isn't that bad, but it really isn't that good either. It doesn't help the film that the last trilogy set the standards so high, but both the quality of the suits and the special effects appear to have a distinct decrease in this film. The fact that the scenes are so bright also makes it very difficult to hide that. And I know it's a weird complaint, but Zedus looks an awful lot like a guy in a suit.
Decker, you do realize that they're all guys in suits. Great. The creature has an ability that very distinctly reminds me of Barugan, as if I wanted to remember that.
At least Barugan didn't look like a guy in a suit.
Right. A rhinoceros dog is so much better.
This battle ends when Toto spits fire in Zedus' face, but weakened from the combat, it doesn't take much for the military to roll in and capture the still quite minuscule Kaiju. Here we learn that the cheap red plastic trinkets are actually what give Gamera their power. How the scientists figured this out, we don't know, but that's their story and they're sticking to it.
Prepare the injection.
Yes, sir.
Zedus will come back now that it's gotten a taste for human flesh. If Gamera isn't ready, it's going to be disastrous.
I venture to say, if Gamera is ready, it will also be disastrous. These things tend to do damage to cities. It's kind of a defining trait.
Yeah, but Gamera doesn't eat people. He just crushes them. And burns them to ash.
And raises children in submarines. Don't forget that one.
Amidst all the chaos, though, Mai's operation is successful, and Tohru catches word that she talks in her sleep now, saying that Toto needs the Red Stone. So, quest accepted. Our three epic heroes under the age of 10 march forth to epic victory.
I bet Toto needs that red stone. Only we know about the stone. And only we can deliver it to him.
You know what? Never mind. It's not possible to look badass when the cumulative age of your posse is less than 25.
Yeah, I guess about 30 or so toddlers would be pretty intimidating. The superpower injections don't seem to be working, but it's a little late to try Plan B, as Zedus has made his way to Nagoya and destroys the lab first of all, just to get that out of the way. This doesn't do all that much to take out Gamera in any case. Who now is full grown, and still looks like an infant.
What the hell was that? That is not Gamera's roar. You can reboot a kaiju as many times as you like, but you do not change the roar. Thus, the battle rages on, with Zedus beating the crap out of Gamera, because despite the injected diet of oops all berries, Gamera hasn't actually regained its power, just its size. Tohru seeks to fix this by getting the stone, but unlike him, Mai doesn't have a death wish and got the hell out of the battle zone. But hey, his dad is there to help him. Or that.
Much as I hate to admit it, he did earn that one.
Even if I gave him the stone, he would still keep fighting Zedus.
Wait, so you don't want to give him the stone, or you do?
I can't leave him!
Mai is at least a lot more determined in that she knows the Red Stone must reach Toto, and that's it. Of course, having just been stitched up after surgery, she's not in the best position to get the job done. Luckily for her, though, a random little girl we never saw before comes up out of the blue.
For Toto, right?
Right.
For Toto!
Are they going to explain why all of these kids know Gamera needs the stone? And know him by name?
And where, pray tell, are any of these kids' parents? Why do so many people leave their children unattended during a Kaiju attack?
After Zedus pulls off some World Wrestling Entertainment moves and lodges Gamera face first into a nearby building, the magic salsa bowl makes its way back into Tohru's hands. He tells his father that although it will give Toto the power to self-destruct, he trusts that the monster won't, as clearly Zedus is a pushover. His father realizes we're 80 minutes into this movie, so he decides to help his son this time. His usefulness is limited to moving a little debris so his kid can slip by, but hey, that's still help.
Go ahead, Tohru. Go and don't look back.
Yeah, I know it's now the, oh, he's on his own part, but the problem is his father has done nothing but hinder him for the rest of the movie, so this is actually kind of a plus.
Toto reaches Gamera, but rather than hurry up and give Gamera the stone he desperately needs, Toto stops to talk to the creature about making extra sure he doesn't blow himself up. All the while, Zedus is beating the crap out of him outside the building.
Okay, Tohru, the clock's a-ticking!
At the last possible second, Toto throws the stone, which Gamera eats. Making me wonder why they injected him with the Scarlet Pearl juice instead of just feeding them to him. And Gamera's power finally manifests in Toto, as he remembers how to fly.
Yeah, it would have been a little more impressive if he had done something that he wasn't doing since he was 1 day old, and then stopped doing for some unknown reason. But it's the return of the spinning turtle shell, and there is no flipper flying in this movie, so that's one good thing, I guess. He gives Zedus one good flying bitch slap, and then it's the final showdown with the... That face, seriously lacking in badassitude.
But he's so cute.
A kid's like Gamera just fine while he was ungodly horrifying. What the hell is wrong with you all of a sudden?
I can't help it. His face. Zedus appears to have the upper hand, and Gamera begins to glow, which everyone warns is a sign that he's going to blow himself up. Still, Tohru believes he won't, and indeed, Gamera was just loading up a super powerful fireball, which Zedus makes no attempts to block, bringing the combat to an end. And so, Gamera dies anyway. The end.
Creepy! Gamera didn't die! He's just exhausted.
Oh, sorry. I was just making predictions based on this movie's track record.
The military swoops in to recapture the considerably larger, heavier, and more powerful kaiju again, but oh no! While they can certainly restrain Gamera no problem, they are powerless against the might of a few dozen grade schoolers! Thus, our story comes to a close as Toto flies off to protect Japan from more bad rubber suits.
Toto, I'll see you again.
Nope! While this was intended to be the start of a trilogy, ticket sales were not so good. Kinda nixed that hope.
I guess you're happy about that one.
What? Why would I be?
You spent the entire time complaining about the movie.
So what? There were 2 potential Gamera movies that never got made. That's sad no matter how you cut it.
What if they were being produced by the asylum?
May they burn in hell! Gamera the Brave is a different kind of Gamera movie. While I haven't reviewed the entire Showa series yet, and that was far more kid-friendly than the Heisei series, the movie didn't really mesh too well with the classic series either. There was a lot going on between the characters and the subtext, but one big problem I had with this movie was, well, the hell was the cause of anything? Gamera's red stone went unexplained. Okay, fine, that's kind of important, but kind of not. Besides, it might have been a detail planned to be revealed in a later movie. But what about Zedus? The second half of your kaiju movie is a pretty important thing to flesh out, but I don't even know where the fuck he came from other than the ocean. He shows up in Japan, does damage, and is defeated. Zedus has to be one of the least interesting kaiju monsters out there. Unless they plan on having more of this tight-fitting monstrosity in the series, I don't see how the lack of exposition is excusable here. As a children's movie, Gamera the Brave is okay. It has your group of friends, the crisis, and the resolution, with the children being an important factor in saving the day, even if their actions are comparable to a horde of zombies. And as a kaiju movie, Gamera the Brave is passable. It has its moments, its setups, its plot points pulled out of its ass in the middle of the film, but the crime here is that the big film to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Gamera, at the end of the day, was really nothing special. Overall, Gamera the Brave is a pretty grim kids movie, and a really tame kaiju movie. It has its moments, and it may be worth a watch, but it's unlikely to be going down in many fans' lists of favorites, coming in at 3 zombie children out of 5. It was enjoyable, but for every part that I felt went really well, there was another that I thought could have gone much better.
Like Gamera's baby face?
Yeah, like that.
Oh look, I found another thing to torture you with.
Well, nevertheless, that's it. Last Gamera movie, and I have to say, this was a very good Revenge of Gamerathon.
Except that one episode that I wasn't in.
Well,
Well, excuse me, I'm sorry if I assumed that my show was my show.
That doesn't quite make up for it. I'm sorry, Decker, but when I get better, I'm coming back over and then...
Your ass is mine.
Thank you all for watching, I've been Decker Shado, and remember, trilogies come in 3 parts.
That's kind of obvious, Decker.
I'm referencing something.
What?
The project.
What the fuck are you talking about?
My!
Gamerathon 3.
Yeah, what do you think?
You're crazy.
I've already reviewed the other 8 movies.
Not that part, but... Jeez, man. Did you give this any kind of rational thought?
I think it'd be awesome.
that's a no.
Where does that leave me?
Ah, you're the brains of the operation.
Say, what?
I come up with the goals, and you figure out how to pull it off.
You're an asshole.